Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Real Positive Girl podcast. My name is Sabrina. Happy Monday to you all. I hope that you're having a fantastic day, and I hope that you're getting your week started off like so good, so right, not feeling like you're behind on anything, not feeling like you're super stressed already. I really hope that it's getting off to a really good start. And whether your day is just beginning, it's towards the middle of the day, it's towards the end of the day, again, I hope that it's going fantastically. And I just want to remind you to take the 5-minute reset if you are having kind of a stressful day. And I never mentioned this, but even if you aren't having a stressful day, you can still take the 5-minute reset. If you just want to kind of take a break and kind of just shake things off and just give yourself like a restart, a boost for the day, just for the sake of doing it, because it'll help you feel a little refreshed. I hope you do that. And if you're unfamiliar with the 5-minute reset, the 5-minute reset is where you take at least 5 minutes alone by yourself, and take more time if you need it and if you have it. But take at least 5 minutes to be by yourself. Make a quick list of at least 4 things that you're grateful for, and those can be big things, those can be small things, those can be medium things. You can be grateful for having fresh flowers in your home this week. You can be grateful for being able to take a nice hike with your dog over the weekend. You can be grateful for being able to get the last bag of Laffy Taffy in the grocery store. Yes, that's a true story. That happened to me last week. I was very excited. But you can be grateful for anything. So I encourage you, make a list of at least 4 things that you're grateful for. Also, just make sure that anything that is weighing you down, any troubles, any stressors, you just kind of just shake them off. And that's part of the reset. You're kind of coming back to baseline. You're starting over again for the day. And you're able to do this as many times as you want during the day. Let me just encourage you for that. And then in addition to that, you want to be able to problem solve whatever is, if you are able to, whatever is driving you crazy, whatever is giving you trouble, whatever is causing you stress and anxiety, and just whatever is like wanting to push you over the edge. But last but not least, you need to be able to walk away from the 5-minute reset time feeling at least neutral, if not positive, about the rest of your day. Because the last thing you want to do is pass your negative attitude onto someone else and cause them to feel bad just because of the whole misery loves company thing. But be able to walk away and feel neutral, if not positive, because despite what you're going through, there are still so many things to be grateful for, which is why I encourage you to make the list, and you're able to shake it off and start again, and know that despite anything that is bringing you down, you can still restart, have a refreshing moment, and enjoy the rest of the day, and know that tomorrow is going to be a better day. But this Monday, I hope that you're having a great day, and this week we are going to be talking about how to have the best week ever. So I am really excited, and I'm sure you can tell already by the title that this week's episodes are going to be a little different and more lighthearted and easygoing. Plus, I think it's always helpful to have some tips on how to have a great week, or at least set it up with the best intentions, and that's exactly why I wanted to talk about it. So today, Monday, we're going to talk about start your week with a plan. So let's go ahead and just jump right in. I do want to make mention that by no means will these tips or any tips you get from anyone giving you the perfect week or the best week ever. It won't be the best week ever for sure. Like it's not a promise. And I only want to mention that because life will throw things at you that you weren't expecting at all whatsoever. And so I just want you to be aware that I am not here promising that my tips will for sure absolutely work, but I do highly believe in them. And however, you can do your best to set yourself up for the best possible week ever and have the positive mindset that it will turn out as best it can. And I thought it would be best to start with talking about starting your week with a plan. I believe there is nothing better than having a plan and goals, even if those are loosely derived, because it can easily set you up for success and accomplishment. And, I've spoken about it before that by filling out your planner or calendar either the night before or in the morning when you first get up is really, really helpful. But it can also be helpful to fill out all the appointments, plans, tasks you already know you need to do for the week, either on Sunday before your week starts, like in the evening or the daytime or whatever works best for you, or at the top of the day on Monday, like right when you first get up or right when you first get to a spot in your morning where you're able to make all those plans if your whole work schedule or life would allow for that. And I just love the idea of being able to plan everything out and just being like ahead of the game and planning goals and planning your appointments and everything that you have to do, everything that you know you have to do. And I understand there's definitely going to be spots in there where you'll be adding things as the week goes on because, things will pop up for sure, or things will be canceled or need to be rearranged. That is just real life. But by inputting everything that you know that is going to happen already right now, like ahead of time, and it just makes your life feel a little bit more structured than it would just like kind of filling it in as the days go by, which I feel like I've noticed I've mentioned before, which does work for a lot of people. That kind of works for me, but I'm actually shifting to more of a like being able to see things over the week or over a month, because it kind of gives me a better idea of what I'm capable of, or whether I'm like stacking too many things in this week than trying to spread it out if deadlines are not a hard and fast rule that I have to live by for those things. So and I have spoken about it before, but I just wanted to make sure that you understand that like doing it for a week ahead of time as opposed to doing it at the start of your day, I just want you to know that there are so many options out there. So if you prefer to do it day by day, continue to do that, but maybe you want to try doing it week by week because maybe it'll take some of the pressure off. And by having everything organized ahead of time, you will be a step ahead for the week and hopefully feel less flustered if something goes sideways or wrong during the week. And I know that this topic might sound a little mundane and boring. Yeah, I get it. But if you are into organizing as much as I am and some others I know, you will really appreciate the benefits of getting ahead of the game before you jump in to your week. A lot of times I feel that people have a case of the Mondays, or they do not like Mondays or appreciate them as much as other days during the week because there is so much pressure to figure everything out on that day. And like I did mention, that if you do want to plan your whole week on that day, that's up to you. You have to find what works for you. But I know a lot of times if you do it the night before on Sunday or during the day or whenever you have time, again, whatever fits your schedule, then it'll feel less pressuring going into that day because you already know kind of what's going to happen and what's expected of you, the expectations that you've already put on yourself. And so, yeah, I understand that this topic might sound a little boring because you're like, oh, Sabrina, all you're talking about is planning things for the week ahead. But it can be super, super duper helpful. So, just kind of keep it in mind, kind of keeping an open mind about it. Some other things you can easily do is get any additions in order that pertain to events you are attending during the week. This could be like getting birthday cards or gifts out of the way, like if you need to order gifts or someone's birthday's coming up at the end of the week, if you need to get on Amazon, if you need to get on whatever website, or if you need to go to Target or wherever it is to get the birthday card, to get the gift, get it all together. Make the time to wrap it and make sure that it's ready by whatever day, or if you have to like ship gifts in the mail. This is something that I suck at so badly. I will plan to do this and I will even go out and buy all the gifts and everything, but they'll just sit in my house for months and months because I have such a struggle with like putting things in boxes and taking it to the post office. And I feel like every time I think about going to the post office, it's going to take forever, but every time I actually go there, it never takes forever. So it's this like weird paradigm that my brain lives in when I know that it's okay, you can do this, take the time to do it. And again, if I would just schedule it out in my week, then I actually would do it because I like ticking things off of like task lists. That actually makes me feel more accomplished. So if you are like that, then I encourage you, again, plan everything the week ahead so that you don't feel super overwhelmed or just like stressed. But also making sure you get something you borrowed back to a friend. You can plan that I'm really bad at as well. Prepping whatever is needed for your kiddos' plans or events. That's something I have to do. I generally all the time, anything that my daughter is doing, I will put it in my calendar, even if it's just taking her to a friend's house, picking her up from a friend's house. It just helps me to organize my schedule and know what is expected of me, which is very important to me. Maybe it's paperwork that needs to be turned in, mailed in, emailed in, whatever it is. You can definitely plan those things in your schedule so that everything is just neat and tidy right there, and you know that it has to be done, and it's right there reminding you every single day in your schedule, this has got to be done. And this means, this is like whether your schedule is on your computer, on your phone, in a written planner, on one of those big desktop paper planners that you put on the wall, or actually on your desk, or on your smartwatch, whatever it is. Make sure that it's in there. And if you have any goals you are working towards, I encourage you to get those in line as well. So evaluate your progress and figure out before the week starts what needs to be done to get to the next milestone. So let's say that you have goals for working out at the gym. Maybe you need to evaluate your progressive overload. Do you need to plan to add more weight this week? Do you need to add more reps? Do you need to, are you at a point where you've been doing your program long enough that you need to kind of switch it up? Or maybe you're just doing something very more isolated, like running a race. Okay, you need to identify, okay, you need to run this many miles this week, and then get ready to transition to this next set of miles during the week, and whatever additional training that you're going to do in between actual runs. So whatever your goal is, kind of evaluate where your progress is right now so that you're able to move on to the next milestone and what it will take this week for you to get to that next thing. Something else that I really enjoy doing on Sundays is to tidy up around the house a bit, so I feel better equipped to take on Monday. And I don't not like Mondays by any means, but I don't feel as stressed when I get up in the morning and the laundry has been sorted and put away. The basket in my room isn't overflowing, or my living room isn't overflowing with baskets of laundry that have been sitting there for a week, 2 weeks. That's my real life. There isn't a sink full of dishes. That drives me crazy. And my living room doesn't look like a disaster, So if you are like me and you just, when you walk around your home and things are neat and tidy and just the way that they need to, the way that you want them to be, maybe not the way that they are or whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever your ideal is. Try to do that the night before, because then you can wake up and feel like, oh, you don't have these additional things hitting you in the face as you are going around your house getting ready for the day, and you're like, oh crap, I have so much stuff that's starting to pile on because I have all these chores in the house. Now, if you take the time to do it, even other things you can do, like empty all the garbage cans, maybe change the linens in the beds, kind of just tidy up in the bathrooms or whatever it may be. Or a really good thing to do on Sunday night is, if you work from home, which I know a lot of us do, kind of tidy up your desk so that it's ready for the start of the week, so you don't walk into your desk being a super disaster. I also know that it's really helpful to do this on Friday, towards the end of your day, kind of tidy it up so then you won't have to necessarily do it on Sunday night. But I feel like that would be a good way to do it if you don't work from home. Tidy up your desk on Friday before you leave work, before you leave your office, so that when you come back on Monday, it just feels all tidy up and it feels like you're ready to just take on the day. The whole idea of this episode is to just encourage you to make a plan, however way works best for you for the week ahead, that will help lower any possible anxiety, stress, or confusion. And I just definitely want to highlight that again, because that is what this episode's here for. It's just really to have another idea, and I feel like that's what the whole week's going to be about. It's going to be about giving you ideas to lower any possible stress, anxiety, any sort of worries that are just going to, or any sort of flustering that could happen because you took the time to kind of get your week in order and make it a lot easier for you from the get-go. One last thing that could help you really rein everything in is to pick something that needs to be the focus of the week. So let's say you have gotten really behind on some chores and feel the need to catch up. So you make it a priority to assign a task to every day so you will be caught up by the end of the week. Or maybe you're coming in hot for a deadline, like for taxes. I know that's coming up. Or turning something important in for work. Create a quick plan on how you can get all the necessary tasks accomplished and done to meet your deadline. And so I really like to take that approach because, when you do feel like you're getting behind on something or a deadline is coming in real hot and you're like, oh my gosh, you're sweating, you're overwhelmed. But if you are able to really look at it, even if your deadline is Tuesday and you're kind of like observing that on Sunday, you're like, okay, well, what can I do right now? What can I do on Monday? And then what can I do on Tuesday until the time that it's due? And really just kind of like break it down. Like, don't let it like hit you in the face as being something that's going to like take you out or, triple down your anxiety of wherever it is right now. Really take the time to kind of break it up. Or if you get behind on chores like I do with laundry all the time, maybe you have 6 baskets of laundry sitting in your living room that you just haven't put away. That's my real life. That is like legit my real life. Make it a priority to maybe do 1 or 2 baskets every night while you watch a YouTube video, while you watch an episode of your favorite show, like whatever it is, just like after you eat dinner or whatever kind of routine you like, just take some time and fold those clothes and then put them away. And then the next day you can tackle a couple more, and then by the end of a couple days, a few days, like that'll all be done, and it'll be just in time for you to do another wash and have to put more clothes away. But at least it won't be even more overwhelming because you're continuing to add all this clean laundry to your living room that's not getting put away. That is my real life, guys. I struggle with that so hard, and I've been actually trying to implement that into my life, to sit down and do a little bit over time and make it a lot easier on myself. So those are definitely some ideas for you. And let me end on letting you know that none of this is meant to be stressful by any means. By planning everything out ahead of time, you should be eliminating any stress and giving yourself more room to breathe. But just remember that any way you decide to do these things, do it in the way that works best for you. That is what's most important. Like, I give out tips and advice and, ways of thinking differently about how to better your life in different perspectives. But what is the most important is to do things that will work best for you. So let's say that you really enjoyed a lot of these tips, but you're like, Sabrina, doing it by the week as opposed to doing it by the day doesn't really work for me. Okay, that's totally fine. Just go ahead and do it by the day and make that the change that you need to make, or make any change that you need to make that works best for you, and then use that and implement that into your life. I am by no means creating rules for you to abide by and you have to do it this way or no way. Make sure it fits best for your life. So I think I'm going to end it right there, guys. Thank you so much for listening to the Real Positive Girl podcast. My name is Sabrina. Happy Monday to you all. Please check the description box for any notes for the show, where you can find me on Instagram, which is at Sabrina Joy Perozzo. Please visit my website, which is sabrinajoy.com, and send me any emails for any questions, comments, concerns, or prayer requests. But until next time, have a good one. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.